Hey, what's up guys? My name is Chris. I'm here from PlebTech. It's been a while. It's probably been about a month or something since we made a video. I've been busy. Jacob has been pretty much lost motivation for it. So, I mean, I can't say, oh, do this and then he'll come back, because that's not how it really works. But anyway, I kind of thought, how much money do you have to spend to get a really decent, and decent is keyword, gaming computer? And so I thought these are all the things that you don't really want to buy pre-owned, because a lot of the time they're expensive or they're just not good enough. Now, I think 8 GB is probably the best for I think 8 GB is the best for playing games, pretty much, because that's all you'll need pretty much. And 4 GB you'll probably see some stuttering and it'll be the bottleneck. So 8 GB you'll be fine. Then I went for a 320 GB. You can go for more. Again, this is only a guideline to see how little you can spend to get a decent gaming computer. Lots of people would argue that you do want a 1 TB hard drive, and I would probably also argue with them, since I have 15 games installed on my well, actually no, lots more because of Origin, but 15 Steam games installed on my computer, and as well as media storage as well, which all adds up, and it's pretty hefty price. And next you have a Xiaomi ZM. It's basically the cheapest case you can buy. I have no idea if it's a good case or not, but it's cheap. Then we have the XFX XT500 Watt 80 Plus bronze certified. Nothing special about it again. So pretty much everything in this build isn't really going to be something special. It's all just the best for your money, especially for that price range. Next we have an R9 290 from Asus. This is actually a good guideline price, not for the Asus model, but for in general. 130. You'll find them about that, probably sometimes lower, bit lower probably, but I opted for the 130 just in case they do go up when you all go and have a look at them. But yeah, so nothing really special about it. It's very similar to a 390, slightly less powerful. And for those of you who don't know about 390, it's pretty similar to an RX 480. When I say pretty similar, there's actually a marginal difference between FPS, and I mean it's kind of similar in a sort of way, but this draws a lot more heat than the 390, and the 390 draws a lot more heat, a lot more power. I mean, than the 390, and the 390 draws a lot more power than the RX 480. So that's just something to bear in mind. And then I went for an i5 because I think that's actually probably a decent standard. It's not going to bottleneck. You're not going to see any games saying that you need more, but it's just a basic, simple i5 4440. Don't really know much about it. It's £90, pretty cheap on CEX, dodgy site, but I've heard they're a great place to buy in the UK pre-owned CPUs for great prices. I mean, it's basically a scam. I mean, just look at that. They buy yours for 42, they sell it for 90. It's just ridiculous. But again, it's pretty good if you want to buy some cheap CPUs. Not all of them are pretty cheap. You can also buy some old graphics cards really good. So if you want to buy a coaster like me, then you can always go and hit them up. And a 580 is something like £40. So if you want a 580, then you can have basically a 580 for that little price. But next, moving on to just something that's very simple. It's the motherboard. It's a Asus. Not sponsored. I'm just going to say yes because I went for Asus and Asus there. But personally, I find Asus motherboards just fantastic. Never really had a problem with them. I'm currently using an MSI one. Haven't had a problem with that either yet. But I haven't tinkered around too much. So that's just something to bear in mind. But it's basic motherboard. Nothing special about it. Like, look at that. You can't get any more basic or horrible about that. And one thing to say is that with this memory, you won't be able to upgrade to 16 GB in the future, which shouldn't be a problem, since I don't know why you'd want 16 GB with an i5. that being said, my friend did have 16 gigabytes of RAM with a 6400 from AMD, but that was sorry there, but that was because the RAM was on a deal. If you can get RAM on a really cheap deal, to be honest, this is actually a really good deal at the moment. £8.40 for 4 gigabytes of RAM. That's a really good deal. £16, something like that for the whole thing. That's really good. But overall, this whole build totals up to be £341.90. This is definitely a console killer. Like, an i5 and a 290 is definitely a console killer, but it's for that little bit more hefty of a price. About £50, you're paying a little bit more of a premium, and you're not really getting a premium product, if you know what I mean. You're more getting performance with this rather than aesthetics. So yeah, maybe I should do a video saying about how actually what is a console killer, because although this is a micro ATX, it's not really a console killer because consoles have their nice sleek designs, whereas this has pretty much the cheapest case I could find on the market. I have no idea how good that is, but anyway guys, if you did enjoy this video, please do leave a like. I'm currently working on some community builds. Sneak peek there. You could just pause the video, see some sneak peeks there. That was just your sneak peek, but I'm working on it. I think I got to do 2 more builds, then I can probably release it to you guys after I release it to the community. And if you're wondering what community this is for the PC gaming community in the Google Plus forum. I am actually a moderator over on there, and yeah, wow, eventful.